Nice.
Figured out a way to bypass the.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
why we-
just so you can tell people that.
That's why we have you, right?
Absolutely.
Jake, are you ready?
Yes.
Beth, you're in? All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Select Board meeting. Today, May 27th. I want everyone to know that this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. There'll be no public comment. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I just want to make a couple announcements that though we did not have a parade on the common, I had asked Herb Foley to see if he could assist with the highway department and mow the common and do some trimming, and he did that, so I want to thank him very much. I also want to thank the fire chief for going above and beyond and putting some locks on the gasoline tanks and the diesel tanks down at the highway department. They had been left unlocked for quite some time. And I want to thank Philip Chafee especially for putting a filter on the fuel tank that there's been no filter for quite some time, and that's pretty important with our diesel fuel, particularly going to the ambulance. I also want to thank Peter Martell for mowing the fields for the rec committee because they were looking at canceling ball games. So it's great when people come together and help out, and there's an awful lot of it. And we're going to talk about that more tonight on line item number 9, and we'll have a policy in place so that we can have volunteers. So I want to just thank everyone that has been helping out while we're light-handed at the highway department. So thank you. Okay, the warrants, fiscal year 2026-24 payroll, $212,508.55. Fiscal year 2026-24 accounts payable, $314,220.81. Number 1, request from the Cultural Council to use the common for summer events. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to authorize the use of the town common for the summer events per the schedule submitted and annotated by the Cultural Council.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2, Cultural Council spending requests, car show, garden club.
Because it's over the $500.
Uh,
That's the only reason.
Okay.
And it's out of this year's budget and not next year's budget because it's the June 6th event.
I'm assuming they have money in the budget.
They have the
for it,
budget,
so,
they just
yeah.
are requesting permission to spend it.
Sure. So I'll entertain a motion for that as well.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Did you
Aye.
second?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Aye.
You didn't hear me, but I said
Okay.
it. Number 3, or number 4, Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, FY 22-23 project extension. Mike, is that what you're here for this evening, or what are you here for this evening?
Chairman, no, I'm here more for the sorry, I'm just on the
That's all right.
item 7. funding application for Boston Post Road.
Okay. So I have not looked at what they're looking for in that project extension. Beth, have you had a chance to look at that?
That's what I sent you guys the email about this morning.
So this is the same project extension that's associated with the ADA accessibility piece internal to town. So we voted that a number of times. I think we're just signing what we've already approved. So we have the funding left, and we're just looking to extend the date so that we can actually express the rest of the funding, right? We've
Okay.
had this conversation at least 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
about the
This is
intent
the
here.
sidewalks, yeah. Okay.
Right.
So do you want to make a motion for me to sign this?
Yep, I'll move that we authorize Mr. Chafee to sign on behalf of the board for the extension for the FY 22-23 CDBG grant.
Okay, I'll second that. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 6, sign contract agreement for ADA sidewalk improvement project.
What about 5?
We just did 5.
Thought you did 4.
Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. You're right. Sorry about that. So the community block grant, the invoices are here. So are they just looking for them to be signed so
Yeah,
that they
just
can?
so they can get paid.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion so that I may sign those. It looks like it's just one signature required.
So moved.
So I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 6, sign contract agreement for ADA sidewalk ramp improvement project. Looks like I need another signature there.
I move to authorize you to sign on Sarah's behalf for the CDBG-funded ADA sidewalk ramp improvement project.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 7, funding application for Boston Post Road, Route 9 West, corridor study. Mike, do you want to come up and tell us what you have going on?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a project that is being initiated by the town of Leicester to have a look at all the towns between the Ware border and the Worcester border along the old Boston Post Road, so along Route 9. Fundamentally, the idea is that over a period of time, each town along this road does their own master plan and looks at their own little patch, but that it's been very difficult to actually see the opportunities that might be generated along that road holistically. So what is being proposed is to have a really detailed study of what is happening along that road in terms of natural systems, in terms of movement along the road, in terms of potential economic development, to see how the synergies between the towns can be developed and to see how the movement of traffic along the towns can be can help to build economic activity in all the towns along the road. And just to understand the dynamics that exist along that road. There's a lot of money being invested in the road, and that money should generate opportunities, economic opportunities, opportunities for the type of housing that towns would like to see in the places they would probably like to see them, which is not the rural areas, but close to infrastructure. So the idea is It's not a master plan, obviously, because it's over several towns. But the idea is to get the towns together effectively to look at what could happen along that road. We are looking at a Rural Development Fund grant through the Community One Stop. As I say, Leicester has agreed to front that, but effectively CMRPC will be organising that. Leicester, Spencer and West Brookfield so far have agreed to be a part of that grant application. There would be no requirement for any funding from the town at all. The funding would come entirely from the grant. We will, the grant will accept in-kind match as opposed to a cash match. So any time that volunteers may put in will be calculated towards a match. And the proposal is there would be a steering committee. We know that the volunteers are incredibly busy, so there'd be no obligation to be involved, but there'd be the opportunity to be involved in that steering committee. And all the results, and obviously there would be consultation with the town, because before any recommendations are framed, there would be consultation with the planning board and the select board. And anything that came out of that study would be the property equally of all the towns that are involved. So really this has to go in with a way of grants like this. There's always a deadline. We have to submit the grant application on the 3rd of June, which is next week. Really what we are asking for is for an agreement that the town can sign a letter of support for the grant and can agree to participate in the project process.
So what are some of the things that you would, what are some of the improvements you would make if you were successful with this grant? Are they improvements, or is it just the study at this point, or?
At this point, it's very much a study.
Okay.
But what we would expect to come out of it is, for instance, the identification along that corridor of opportunities for increased housing, which would generate increased market for economic services, for shops and services and so on, so that the activity along that road could pick up, which would increase the tax bases of all the towns along the road and increase the viability of the towns, while keeping that activity as close as possible to the road, and therefore maintaining the balance. In our understanding with the towns that we've just done master plans for Leicester and Spencer, we know that what is really important to people in this area is to balance the rural atmosphere, the rural feel, the open space, with the need to get some development to increase your tax base. And what we would like to see is how that infrastructure, in which a lot of money has been invested, could help to do exactly that, to increase the tax base while maintaining the balance.
So is there an element of small business included in that?
Definitely.
Or? Okay.
There'd definitely be a major element of small business.
Beth, do you have any questions?
So the rural development grant, is that through a state grant process, or is that a federal grant process? And does it have any impact on eligibility, either positively or negatively, on any other grant programs that are currently available to us?
It's a state grant through the Community One Stop process. The only impact it would have on eligibility would be if you are making another grant under the Rural Development Fund through the Community One Stop. Now, in relation to that, it would be irresponsible for me not to say I see item 10 on your agenda refers to something that looks as if it might be such a thing. I'm a little bit surprised because I wasn't aware that an emergency generator for a town water supply could be applied for under the Rural Development Grant. But if in fact you are submitting such a grant, then there might be a conflict. If that is the case, what we would suggest is that there's an alternative to becoming completely a part of the applicant group, which is that you could let the 3 towns that have already signed up to the applicant group go ahead, but just give a letter of support, which would not make you an applicant and therefore not compromise this other application if there is indeed another application. So then we would simply ask that you give a letter of support, and then if we get the grant funding, we would invite you to participate to the extent that you would like to participate in the process anyway.
Okay. What do you think?
So he just addressed my primary concern, which is that according to Lynn, based on it being critical, our water supply being so critical to infrastructure and growth in the area, right? I think is part of the justification that they're using relative to the water generator grant application. I have no problem providing a letter of support, understanding that, and I don't know if there's a potential to be able to opt into the full study if we get denied our own application, or at least if we're, so long as we're invited to the table, if they were to get their grant, then I think that's a win-win. So
Okay.
I don't see a problem with doing a letter of support.
Yep.
I do want to say that we probably need to stay off of the official submission list in order to support the other
Yeah,
efforts
so it
that we have
doesn't
in
take
town.
that out of the equation.
Correct.
Okay.
That's understood. That's quite acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I didn't actually realize until I saw both of them on the agenda that it was the same program. So I wasn't even asking a loaded question. It was literally kind of on the fly recognizing Houston, we might have a problem here,
Yeah.
so.
So, do you have something for us to sign, or would a letter from Karen be sufficient?
If the board authorizes Karen to sign it, that's absolutely fine. I haven't got it with me, but we will send it through tomorrow if that's all right, just
Okay.
to get a signature.
I mean, I could pop in tomorrow and sign it. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you
Great,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thanks.
So I move that we, do you want to authorize Karen to sign it for us?
Karen can sign it, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I move that we authorize Karen to sign on behalf of the board a letter of support for the Route 9 corridor study grant application.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, I can get it back to you tomorrow.
All right. Number 8, cemetery project.
Okay, just by virtue of the fact that we're very short-staffed at Highway, and we had the conversation a couple of, I think it was probably 3 meetings back, that we talked about at least finding out what it would cost to bring somebody in to do the millings portion of the cemetery project. I have a couple of quotes back, one from Precision Paving that has the phase 2 of the project.
You're
and
going to
one.
hold the numbers tight, right? You won't say the numbers.
Yeah, I'm not saying the
Okay,
numbers.
good.
I'm just going to say we have 2 quotes right now. One of them is from
Was it Pioneer?
one is from Pioneer, one
Okay.
is from Blackstone, and I'm waiting. I've got the bid packets out to 2 other local places,
Okay.
and they're not sealed bid because they're not of a dollar value that requires sealed bid.
I think under 30,000, we're okay. Is that correct?
Correct. We need 3 bids,
Written
or
quotes.
we need 3 written quotes or written no bids.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 of the 3 bids.
Okay.
I've got 2 more requests for a bid out there And I can just follow up with the folks that I sent it to to see if we've got a no bid.
Fine, I'm
Right.
good with that.
And then we can move forward
Great,
on selecting one.
yeah,
So.
great.
So I should have those for, I don't know when our next meeting is that we have various topics, but we can cover it then.
Okay,
So,
excellent. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Anything else with the cemetery project?
No, it's just we've got obviously we want to get started with the foundation portion
Get
of
the
it.
millings
Because
down
get the
and
millings down
compacted
and compacted and it doesn't hurt it to actually sit a little bit and get it hot.
The
so
longer
that-
they sit, the better they are. Yeah.
Right,
So
before we
the
actually
the
do
only
the
other
chip seal.
portion of it, the chip seal, do we fall under the 30,000
We're going to
on
have to
that?
put that back out to bid as well.
Okay,
And I think we're safe considering them two separate projects because we don't have to do the chip seal this year either.
Oh, no,
Right,
right.
I mean, so I think we can treat the two now the challenge is if we consider it one contiguous project, then we need to do formal sealed bids on the full project and we wouldn't be able to split up the work across two vendors. I think the work is independent of one another because
agreed.
because we do the millings doesn't mean that we ever chip seal it, and putting down the millings is actually similar to gravel. It's
Well,
not
we
the
did that
preferred
last year.
surface, right? Exactly. So I'm of the opinion we can treat it as two separate enterprises.
Especially where the highway was involved and it was a big part of it going to be on the highway.
Highway.
And now it's just simply, yeah, so I'm in agreement that we're not circumventing chapter 30B to break it
No.
into two sections.
No, because
Okay.
it was originally planned as a phase with the internal, with just material delivery. We're not in a position to execute it that way.
I guess my only concern is I don't remember the exact number on the chip seal, but I thought that might be getting us where we might need sealed bids.
No,
Oh, it's not?
it was mid, it was well underneath.
Okay, all right, very good then.
Yeah, the original bid was well underneath what would put us
Okay.
into
I just
sealed
didn't
bids
want
and
that
full
to have
project.
come up and get us
Yeah.
from behind, so, okay.
So,
All right, well, thank you for that. Number 9, the volunteer policy.
yes. I had hoped that KP would have had a chance to like substitute in just the town's information and language, but we do have a draft in front of us that I put together. And I've got both a draft policy and a draft waiver and release. I haven't heard back from them. I did get some copies over to Michelle late
You looking budget,
late
do
last
you
week.
need it?
No, I got it right here. But I didn't know if you'd had gotten a chance to take a look at it, because I'd sent it to you all first.
I did look at it, and I would like to get it going as soon as possible, so if we do have some volunteers that want to help out, that
So,
we can do it.
I mean, I think we could probably vote the policy, understanding
Pending.
that where it says, yeah, pending
Keep it.
KP review,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But fundamentally, it outlines that this is limited right now to a grounds maintenance program. There's a potential in the future, I think, to expand it to, we've historically done some building cleanup and other work with
Yeah.
volunteers. Actually, some of our office space was functionally divided by volunteers
Yep.
a number of years ago. And it covers a scope of permitted activities: lawn mowing, brush and shrub trimming, seasonal cleanup, minor beautification. It makes it clear that the intent is not to replace paid town employees. It's just times
Help
when we
out.
find ourselves in a bind. There's a lot of town and not always a lot of employees.
And speaking with the rec committee, they did their own trash down there this weekend. When I spoke with Chris, our last member of the highway department, he was going to try to get that done, and he just ran out of time on Friday. So again, that didn't get done. So with a policy like this is perfect.
Right, so I think one edit we probably should toss in there is this was highway department focused from a standpoint of typically they are also responsible for the rec committee fields and the like. We can leave it that way fundamentally, or, and then anytime there's not really someone from highway available to approve it, it would come up to the town administrator, I would say,
Okay.
town administrator or select
Sure.
board. So we could put some boilerplate language that, you know, in the event that, like, you know, highway's unavailable for consult, that the TA or the Board of Selectmen are alternatives for approving it.
Yeah.
I don't know, did you get a chance to read through it? Were there
I
any
did.
changes
No,
that you
I'm
thought
good
needed to
with,
go?
I'm good with the way it is, but if you
Okay.
want to make the couple add-ons with the other,
Like departments being able to authorize
Yeah.
in their zone,
yeah,
right?
I'm
Okay.
good with that. Like the rec committee,
Okay, we can put in some language here that says,
but I think we should also include the cemetery commissioners as well.
so in place of highway department, we could put the
Department head.
probably put the appropriate overseeing board.
Sure, yeah. Because I think some of it might fall under the water department as well.
And I think what we should just do is have them ensure that any records are filed with the town administrator and the select board. So they can approve it, but that they should file all the
Send it
waivers.
forward.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so any place that said highway department, I'm gonna just put cognizant border committee, that gives us a little more flexibility. And with those changes, I'll move that we approve that we tentatively approve the volunteer policy pending KP review of the changes.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll try to get those edits in and send them over
Perfect.
after the meeting tonight.
Thank you for doing that, too.
Yep.
All right, number 10, approve application for one-stop community rural development grant for emergency generator for the town water supply.
I move that the select board approve Lynn Shaw as the town of Brookfield grant writer to submit the one-stop community rural development grant on behalf of the Water Commission for the replacement of the emergency generator for the town public water supply.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So this is something that I think could not be well, I don't know if it could not be reasonably anticipated by the chair, but I guess the question came up, we had voted to have Blythe Robinson start next week as the town administrator, but I guess we didn't put together an appropriate plan of action to reach out to her, negotiate terms, et cetera. I did have a conversation with her this afternoon. And what we talked about was potentially 3 days a week, either Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at a rate of 85 an hour, which would keep us at our budgeted amount for the role. And I wanted to put that forward so that we could align on that in the interest of honoring the vote we made last week to get her started.
I only have, I don't mind talking about it under the less than 48 hours, but I'm not comfortable voting it in, not having it on the agenda.
Okay.
I was sure hoping Sarah was going to be part of the Zoom meeting, and do we
Is
want
she
to
in
check?
there?
She did plan to, but then remember I said that her phone was dying and she was out.
She's
so-
showing there.
Oh, okay. And she's there.
Jake, is Sarah with us? Sarah, can you hear us?
I mean, we already voted to hire her, so I think terms and conditions, we typically just say that they can be negotiated and handled once that vote's occurred, so.
Well, first of all, my concern is $85 an hour is a big number when we're talking about paying a full-time town administrator $55.
So typically speaking, when you hire a consultant, fundamentally.
You pay for it, I get it.
Temporary, right? You pay for it because you don't pay benefits. You don't,
Mhm,
you know, typically speaking, you're just paying the fee.
mhm.
So,
She's in, but she's not responding. I
Okay.
messaged her, she can hear, she's just not responding.
okay.
I'm sorry, Beth, but I'm not comfortable, number one, moving on this without it being on the agenda, and two, I'm definitely not comfortable with the $85 an hour. It's just too big of a number apart from what we're willing to pay for a full-time town administrator. I think, did we settle on a number? It was 115,000.
It's
that we're-
115,000 for 30 to 40 hours a week. So
So
at 30.
35 hours,
At 30 hours, at 30 hours a week at $114,000, you're looking at $87.60. 85 is below the top of what could be the result of what we posted the position at.
we posted at 115.
We posted it at from, I think it was 90 to 114,000.
93, I think, to 114,
30 to 40
hours.
hours. And so that number comes from calculating it at 30 hours at $114,000 per year. It would have been $87.69, and going slightly underneath of that still complies with aligning on the same rate fundamentally that we posted the position at. So it's entirely consistent with what we
So
publicly posted
35
in the meeting. Yeah.
hours times 2,080, or divided by, let's see, so we got
So if
35
you
times
take,
87,
114,
87,
right? And I did the math backwards, which was figuring out what the rate would be at the higher pay rate
that
and
comes
the
out to
lower hours.
158,000 if I did it right. $87 an hour times 35 hours times 52 weeks. It's 158,000.
So 114,000 divided by 52 weeks, divided by 30 is is like 73. Right, and then in order to get, okay, and that's where it is. It does come out, thank you. That's where in order to keep it within the confines of the salary, it would
So
drop
dropping
the
it to
hours.
30 hours.
Yeah, dropping it to the 30 hours.
Hmm.
So, and she's expecting to be able to do it within 24 hours in a week. So she's expecting to be able to handle the workload in a 3-day work week.
Yeah, I would think it would be able to, and maybe some weeks even two, right?
Yeah, and
So-
she even said in
And then
some
she
weeks
did,
it would be 2.
she did talk about working remotely, but I would not be in favor of the remote
Right.
town administrator position.
So,
So I'm sorry that I'm not trying to stall this, but
so at what rate would you support it, at 73?
I don't know why we're so much higher. I understand the no benefits package. I understand that it's probably, hopefully, it's going to be on the short term, but speaking to a couple of the committee members, they've had 0 applicants at this point that were, is it 0 applicants or 0
No, they have applicants, but they
that were?
reviewed them, yes, and I even sent them all off to Jeff to just distribute them to the members. I don't know if he has or not, but I know he looked at them and he said that he didn't really see anybody viable.
So the problem,
Makes it more important, not
So-
less, to get somebody competent and with the right skill set.
I'm not disputing that in one way. I agree we need someone and we need someone fast. But the difference is now at the $73 an hour, if it's more than 24 hours a week, that's then going to cut into the position of the next town administrator that will be taking money out of that budget at a pretty rapid rate. So then we'll be able to offer a lesser number to the full-time administrator. So that would be a big concern to me as well. So I would be willing to meet again next week to get this to expedite it, but I don't feel comfortable under the, 1, the amount of money, and 2, not having it on the agenda for full transparency. But I'll even meet Tuesday if, like, I am not trying to stall this. I agree, we need a town administrator ASAP.
Okay, so can we find out if we can do a meeting Tuesday, whether it's a day meeting or a,
I can do a day meeting if that helps.
yeah, if we have to, yeah. So can we find out Sarah's
Well,
availability?
it's okay, Sarah can hear us, but she's,
Yeah, she can hear us, but can't speak.
okay.
Yeah.
all right.
So,
I'll check with her, I'll text her. Yeah. So what's your preference, day or evening?
The earliest.
In the morning? Is that
What,
work?
I mean,
Earliest
the
available.
earliest possibility to meet. Just
Yeah.
check with her she'll probably have the toughest time. She has
Okay.
a full-time job.
You want to know if she can do a day meeting on Tuesday? Is that the question?
Yeah.
yeah, what her preferred time on Tuesday, like whether it's a day meeting, a lunch hour meeting, a whatever meeting.
Okay, I messaged.
Great.
All right? So we'll just table it until our next meeting. If we're on the agenda, I'd resolve it with you one way or another. We'd drag out a number, but I'm not willing to do it where it's not on the agenda. So, number 10, approve application for one-stop rural development grant for emerging, oh, we did
We
that.
already did that.
So,
This is it.
okay, so we're under the 48 hours. I also have something for under the 48 hours that kind of came up today, is a resident next to Kimball Street, John Shea. He's having some water issues. I didn't feel comfortable when he called me originally, not going up there without the highway superintendent. I asked the highway superintendent to go. Kyle said that he had put some work into it. He rented a camera. He cameraed the lines, and he said he couldn't find the issue. So I gave John Shea your phone number and asked him to reach out to you. Maybe you could do a little more with him. And he called me again today and said, hey, I'm not on the agenda. So,
Right. I thought, I had asked him to drop the sheet of paper with the information off to Karen and he didn't. There was apparently a cross-up of communication. He's like, well, I don't know what you wanted me to give you. And I was like, I had asked you for this in writing.
Yeah.
That's basically what I asked him for when I spoke to him last week. I also spent about an hour on the phone with him today.
Yeah,
Okay?
me too, yeah.
So-
So are you aware of what happened after 4 o'clock? I don't know what time you talked to him.
I talked to him from 5:45 to about 6:45, so.
Okay, so I'll just bring you up on what I know. I asked the previous highway superintendent if he knew anything of the problem, because Mr. Shea had stated that our previous highway superintendent knew all about it. So Herb actually went and looked at it. He said there's a catch basin that's covered over by about 9 inches of debris. And he said that needs to be taken away. He says it's probably not going to fix the whole problem, but it's going to make it a whole lot better, that the surface water can actually get into the catch basin. He says more than likely the catch basin's full as well. I told him that I would bring it up under the less than 48 hours. He's willing to either run a truck or a loader tomorrow afternoon to help out. I'm willing to go down there and run either the loader or the truck if the board is comfortable with that.
You guys gonna both sign our volunteer waivers?
I'll be
It's a
glad
little
to.
bit of outside of scope, but
I
think
get
we
it,
can
but this guy is saying that he can't use his facility, the bathrooms are no longer usable. He's going elsewhere, he's pumping the septic tank out 3 times a week and it fills right back in. Did he mention all of that to you?
He did.
So,
And I guess my big question relative to this, and the only, my primary concern about it is that I'm a little concerned because I don't know that we have established proximate cause other than
well, Herb,
prior knowledge of this.
yeah, Herb said it's
information.
all the debris from plowing the dead end that covered the catch basin in the last year or two, that the catch basin is totally covered over. He didn't do any work there today, he just did a visual inspection. So I just want to be clear that he's not done any work, and I feel compassionate for the guy that he's paying probably $400 every couple days to pump water out of his septic tank, and he's not able to use his facility. So I'm willing to go help him, but if the board's not comfortable with it, I'm not going to do it if the
So
board
if-
doesn't give me permission and town council.
So,
I'm a licensed truck driver, I'm a licensed heavy equipment operator, so, and so isn't the previous highway boss.
so let's revisit what agenda item number was the volunteer policy.
9.
So the current scope of permitted activities was lawn mowing, brush, shrub trimming, seasonal cleanup, and minor beautification efforts. Do we want to expand the scope of permitted activities?
I guess if a person is licensed to run the equipment, and they, I'd feel more comfortable with that, but it's up to, where I'm volunteering to do it, I want to be very cautious on what I say the policy needs to say. So I would defer to you, and I would ask Sarah to weigh in after the meeting if she's able. The other piece of equipment that would be needed to perform the task is the catch basin
I was
truck.
going to say the catch basin truck is
And
what
Herb
would be
said that
required.
he's
He's licensed
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So how would we frame the scope of that type of activity?
It's a specialized piece of equipment, but
Yeah,
he's licensed to run it.
so,
But maybe we maybe we just put it on town council and just make sure that she gives her wishes before anything is done.
I think this is a situation where we're going to struggle if we do it, and then we're going to struggle
Yeah,
if
no,
we don't do it.
I get it. I get
So,
it. I'll be beat up again on Facebook, there's no doubt about it.
I'm not worried about Facebook. So,
I mean, the other option is, I think if you get the Board of Health involved, I think it's gonna make the situation a whole lot worse. Where
Well-
he said he's using Cumberland Farms to go to that.
right. And no, and the challenge is that it feels like there's been iterations of this, and I find it unfortunate that it's only gotten escalated to the level of the select board now, when this has been an ongoing issue for 20 years and several iterations of infrastructure projects in the area. So, at least per what he was telling me, is that there's been iterations of this scenario. I can tell you.
Going all the way back to when Herb was the highway boss, he
Right,
said he had an issue.
And I can tell you, it's never been raised to this board prior to last,
Couple weeks.
yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I think the fact that the catch basin is totally sealed off and probably full to the top, it's not allowing the surface water to go in, which is
So-
making the situation worse.
So I think that level of work, particularly if we get both of y'all to sign some equivalent of the volunteer waiver, even if we wind up having it in a different form or what have you, I think it at least meets the minimums. I know we don't have an official policy right now.
I think the other thing I want to maintain is that, and state that we don't use any equipment on his private property. It's only for the catch basin and relative there too.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so I think this is probably, would fall under special circumstance. We probably need to get some general language in there to allow things outside the scope of a vote of the board. I'll go ahead and move that you and our former highway superintendent be authorized use of the highway equipment for the purposes of redressing anything on town property that may be contributing to Mr. Shea's water issue.
Mhm.
I don't know if Sarah can give a second, and even though you're going to be
I'd prefer no.
participating, even
Yeah.
though you're going to be participating, I don't think it's a conflict of interest because you're not going to be compensated. So,
Is she able to?
I don't know if she's able to second or vote.
Just asked her.
I remember this issue of something similar came up to do with snow plowing, and the question was, who was able to volunteer to snow plow? I think we had talked about licensed individuals. You remember that when someone was volunteering? It was probably 2 years ago when Brad was here. Something came up about it, I don't remember the exact specifics.
I remember a discussion, but I don't recall what the
Okay.
primary. And again, right, part of it is having appropriate pre-authorization, which I think is what we're doing here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And part of it has to do with ensuring that we have the liability issues covered,
Mhm.
right? I know for a fact that Mr. Chafee is licensed on that equipment, that he has his hoisting, that he has a CDL,
Mhm.
right? He helped build the truck, actually. So-
Several.
Well, with that one in particular.
Yeah.
So, you know, so, and I don't necessarily find it, I mean, the place where it would become a conflict of interest if it, later on he took the work to do something on his property, that would be something that would be a totally different topic. But if we're
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
I'm
for the
not-
purposes of this work, I don't see,
I don't have any work with Mr. Shea at all,
right. So,
not previous and not after.
right. So, but I don't necessarily see a conflict of interest there. If we can't get a vote from Sarah, are you willing to vote?
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
So I gave you the
I'll
motion.
second it, so, at my own peril, yeah. So, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make sure you fill out a copy of the form, please.
I have a copy.
Okay. And cross out where it says, just cross out the top where it says below is a Massachusetts compliant,
Yep.
so.
So I will make sure that we wait for Michelle to weigh in before we do anything.
Yeah. So,
All right? That's all I have. Anything else?
so I move that we adjourn to enter executive session under exemption 2.
Yes. You want the wording?
Yes, sorry, I managed to lose my
Oh, it's
agenda.
right here.
Yeah. Executive session pursuant to general law, chapter 30A, section 21A,
I'm sorry?
2, to conduct strategy sessions and preparations for negotiations.
I'm sorry. Were you finished?
No.
Oh,
Negotiations with non-union personnel to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel for the highway superintendent. And to not reconvene an open session.
Second.
Coughlin, aye?
Chafee, aye.
Now, I believe that Paul has the door upstairs open in case you want to look, if you might want to stay down here. I don't know if